Good evening, everyone. We're going to observe a launch again. We're 1:45 a.m. East time, and they say that they are sending a crew in space for the space station. Actually, it's supposed to launch in a few seconds, and then we're just waiting right now. Here we go. I'll just show you guys. They say there's a hole. I don't know. But you'll see with your own eyes if it is true they are going in space, which we know it's not. And after this live stream, we will have. After this live stream, I'm gonna send a video regarding the like this crew in space and what is true space. It's with the firmament. Here we go. This is what they say, but there was so much smoke in the top earlier that there's no way a crew can be sitting in this. Anyway, we'll see with the video I'm gonna send you after the live stream. You will understand what I'm saying. So we're waiting. This is in the backyard, so we see really well usually when it's coming out. And it doesn't seem to have clouds tonight. We actually see the stars. So we're waiting. Actually, we brought the tablet so we can see when it's coming up. What time is it? Oh, they're late. They're supposed to lunch at 1:45 and it's 1:46. So we're just a little bit patient. And we know that we have NASA is actually saying a lot of, they're hiding the Father, the Creator, and worshiping a model that's not the real model. It's actually like idolatry. So this is why we want to see with our own eyes what happened to these rockets. And then, so we're still waiting. Do you know how long? Do they say how long they're late?
No, it doesn't say anything.
Do you want to put the volume up a little bit just to hear what they say?
Yeah.
I just want to know how long they are late for.
We are in a scrub situation, just under 2 minutes and 30 seconds from launch.
2 minutes and 30 seconds from lunch. So we actually made a little editing, a little video, about 10 minutes video that we will be posting on our website after the lunch. And it's pretty interesting. It's also according to this, what's going on now. 2 minutes. It's going to be in our backyard right here. What you see is just the light from a street light. So in 2 minutes, you'll see the rocket coming up and it looks clear in the sky. Last time it was like really cloudy, so we couldn't see where it was going. But now we will see well. Do they don't show how long? About 1 minute. Can you hold this for me, please?
Right now, the ground teams are tracking no issues. Everything going according to plan for a nominal scrub.
Alrighty, so they're about 20 minutes away from us, but we see them really well. They stopped talking too. Okay, we're still waiting. It's been a few times that they've been late lately. And I'm saying shalom to all of you. Thank you for joining tonight so we can all observe together. And so they must be really close to the lunch. They said 2 minute 30 second about 2 minutes ago. So we will be seeing the lunch really soon. Earlier, I was seeing one of them just playing a game on their phone or their tablet or something like that.
For those who are just joining, as a reminder, we are in a scrub at just under 2 minutes 30 seconds from launch. The ground teams declared
Under.
a scrub as they were checking a ground issue with the T10 ignition fluid, and as a precaution, made a scrub for today's launch as we were counting down to T0. Now we're working our way through nominal scrub procedures, which include
And
offloading
these are different type of
exposure
wear.
that are loaded on the Falcon 9 right now.
I don't know.
You can see we made our way through the countdown to a strong back retract that has been
It's to help you guys to know when it's gonna happen, because usually I'm waiting and we don't see how long. They had some issue. They said they had a hole or something. I'm not sure. But we will see. They say the lunch will be there. It will be happening in less than 2 minutes 30 seconds. But they said that 2 minutes ago.
So unfortunately, at this point in time, there's not a whole lot that the crew there can do except patiently wait. I could imagine that they might be a little sad as of because otherwise they would be in space at this point, effectively.
Yeah, right.
Right
Sorry.
now, as you can see, they are.
I don't know if anybody can hear.
As the Falcon 9 teams on the ground continue to keep them updated. As Gary said, this is a nominal scrub procedure or configuration. We have procedures listing out every step of this. So right now we are basically unfueling Falcon 9 from both the first and second stages, as Falcon 9 was nearly fully loaded at the time of the scrub. So as this continues, we will see.
This is where you're gonna see it in a few minutes.
As that detanking effectively is underway. We will also see the crew access arm go back into the service position. That will enable basically the pad team to re-enter the pad, go back up, and hopefully.
So they talk a lot, but it's actually we're just waiting because they're late, and they've been late lately a lot. So they're just waiting for a few minutes. They said less than 2 minutes 30. Oh really? No way. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it could be. I don't know if you guys can see. With the phone, it's really difficult, but it's really beautiful. There's a lot of stars right now. While we were waiting for this to come. That is amazing.
No, it does, but then it's just insane.
Wow. I thought my eyes were glitching. So the reason we are doing that for the people who are new here, is we believe that our Creator, what He says in His words, are true, and we can witness with our own eyes about the creation. And we have this beautiful, amazing, big firmament that's surrounding us, on top of us, to protect us. And the Father is the Most High. Where's heaven? He's above us. We are His footstool. And we can see with the rockets that they never go in space if they don't turn into a parabolic elliptic launch, like going around a flight. It's gonna go up and then hit the firmament, and we can hear and see it. And we've been blessed with this because we can see with our own eyes in here in Florida. So we have the proof, and we share with you. We share with you guys so you can see with your own eyes as well.
This very similar scenario on Thursday, February 23rd, the integrated launch operation with the astronauts, performed a full dry dress rehearsal, which basically means a total dress rehearsal.
Did you hear anything about the timing?
The pad,
No, because
going
you're
up
talking.
the elevators
I
in the
couldn't
crew
tell if
tower,
it
down
was.
the crew access arm, and ingressing into the capsule, and basically doing a full rehearsal of launch day as if it were real, but no propellant involved. So that's why it's called a dry rehearsal.
We have a little delay here. It's been a little while. You want to change your arm?
Having their teams go back up into the crew tower and retrieve the astronauts from the capsule. So at
Alrighty.
this point in time, we are following along with the procedures for this unfortunate scrub, but everything continues to
A scrub? What did that mean?
this activity. Right now, for those that have recently joined, we had a hold called on the countdown at about T-minus 2.5 minutes. The crew had reported around T-minus 5 minutes, or excuse me, the ground teams the SpaceX ground teams had reported around T-minus 5 minutes an issue with the T-Teb, which is basically the stuff that we use to ignite the engines on the first stage. So out of an abundance of caution, the teams called that hold at T-minus 2.5 minutes, and then proceeded into nominal off detanking, or basically
Thank you, Patricia. This is so true. We've been waiting. I know they've been doing that lately. The first times they were not late like that. Like most of the time, they were on time. But it's been a few times we did a live stream and they're really late. So I think they're getting ready to go. And then we can see that flight going either in a parabolic flight or it's going to hit the firmament and we can hear it. And now that the sky is clear, we can even see and hear the boom if they hit the firmament. If not, you'll see it like going around to the ocean.
We heard Commander Steve Bowen sounding
Sorry.
pretty unbothered by everything. Like I mentioned before, everything is written down in the procedure. They practiced this
They're
very
not
similar
saying how long, eh?
procedure during Thursday night's
Well,
dry
they can
dress
really
rehearsal.
predict when they
So
face an
all in
issue.
all, everything
They don't seem nervous for a crew that's going in space.
these next steps, as I mentioned before,
They look pretty calm. Earlier, they were. I've seen somebody going on the tablet or on a phone.
the pad area and basically enabled the astronauts to egress.
Oh yeah.
I also mentioned earlier that backup launch opportunity is about the same time tomorrow, roughly 24 hours.
Yeah, they talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow in the afternoon during the day at 1:35, if I'm right, or 38. There's another launch. So we are live tomorrow too, so you can see it well. Prayerfully, we can see without a cloud. During the day, usually we can even see the shadow on the firmament.
International Space Station when launching from Kennedy Space Center. So when it comes to
Yes.
crew launches, there's only one shot, and so therefore, due to that scrub that was called at T-minus 2.5 minutes, that was our only opportunity
Hello?
to launch today.
No, they're saying there was an issue.
Another issue?
No, they're talking about the issue that happened at T-minus 2 minutes when they were counting down 2 minutes. That just occurred.
Oh,
Right as
okay.
they were counting down.
So they are doing the countdown?
I don't know. I don't know about
A
that.
nominal offload of the fuel for this particular scrub is almost like a wet dress rehearsal. One step
No, I'm not waiting 24 hours.
up the elevators and making their way into the vehicle, buckling up.
Oh, I'm sure that it's gonna happen really soon.
But before they started fueling.
Actually, they are about 14 minutes late. Thank you so much for being so patient on the chat too. I'm so sorry for that.
30 seconds prior to the T0 time, due to tracking a ground issue with the T-Teb ignition fluid that's used on the end of these 2
Our
minute
plan for the
event,
future
and
is to try to figure out a way to install an introduction in the live stream. So when they are late, you can watch it, and will be regarding what we're streaming.
a nominal scrub. So we'll be going through the scrub procedures, which include the detanking. They seem to be going a little faster than originally predicted. They were called out to the crew about 50 minutes. Now we're inside 30 minutes
What?
detanking the Falcon 9. That
All
means
right, I'm going inside, man. I am
refined kerosene and
I
liquid
am too
oxygen.
tired for this.
The densified liquid oxygen that's on board is being brought back into the lines that fuel them. So we'll be emptying.
Did they
those
say
tanks.
30
You can
minutes?
still
Seriously?
see some of the oxygen, some of the gaseous oxygen
Yeah,
billowing off the
I'm
Falcon 9
done.
rocket itself. So
Hang on a
there's
second.
a little bit of fuel in there. You're
I'm
seeing
staying
some
here for
pumps
30
that are
minutes.
part of the detanking process. In the meantime, just a reminder that large escape system is armed through the whole thing, just to keep the crew safe. But you see, for the crew themselves, it's a very passive experience to launch scrub. All of these commands being issued by the teams on the ground.
Okay, I'm not sure if they are saying 30 minutes or not.
Until and get
I
status
pray
updates
not.
from the ground teams. Right now, they are connected by umbilical. We did hear that as part of the normal countdown, that Falcon 9 transferred to internal power, but they re-enabled auxiliary power back into the vehicle.
Let's
So
just
through
listen
the
and see.
detanking process, we're getting power from the ground and not relying on the batteries inside the vehicles. So we continue to work through this process. Again, Steve Bowen, Woody Hoberg, Sultan Almiati, and Andrei Fedyayev on board. Crew Dragon Endeavor now
Did you
passively
understand the
waiting
timing?
for the scrub process, detaking fuel first. This is going to be one of the lengthier processes before the crew access arm swings back and allows the crew to egress.
I think they're
Exit
talking
that
more about
vehicle
what they
and
think
get
is
back
gonna
on the
happen
ground.
later on.
Same thing again in about 24 hours.
Look at
Witnessing the
that.
same
Look, he's
series of
bored.
events, suiting up in the suit room.
I'm sorry.
Going down
He's
and
just
making
looking
their
at
way
me.
over to the
He
pad
just doesn't know what to do.
via Tesla
He's gonna have to sit there.
until they make
Oh
their way
my.
up the launch tower. The
You know the
elevators over
Tower of
there and make their way
Babel?
back into the
They
safe
were like
vehicle.
going with bad intent in their hearts. Here they are trying to worship something different than what the Father had created. Like to don't worship Him, but to worship creation and the false gods.
Oh.
It looks like they're trying to.
Give you updates as we hear them right now. Really, it's just the detanking process, which is quite a lengthy process, so we'll continue to keep you updated there. That is
Yeah, no
still
crap,
underway.
Sherlock.
That's one of the longer events that occur.
Are they doing that right?
It's a lengthy, long process. I get it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm just getting impatient.
Okay, so while we're waiting,
Left to right, Andrei Fedyayev.
I guess it's gonna be about 30 minutes. This is what they said.
I sure hope I was
Sultan
wrong.
Almiati on board Crew Dragon Endeavor.
Oh yeah.
Now we'll continue to follow along through this process.
He's playing with his hand. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh.
It's funny though. It's like he's just bored.
I think I'm tired too, guys. I'm sorry. Oh my
The
goodness.
guy on the left.
Yeah, I'm a little bit tired, but
All right, thanks so much, Gary. Back here at the
are they
Kennedy Space
deciding
Center
to
in
go?
Florida. Daryl Nail, and I'm with Crew 3 Commander, NASA astronaut Raja Chari. And it goes without saying, Raja, it looks like you're going to have to wait on seeing your first launch. As Gary mentioned, we had a scrub at right around 1:43 a.m.
How they
Eastern
scrub
time.
a rocket that's
Got down
super
inside
hot with all that
10
smoke around?
minutes.
I think
And,
they're
they're starting
they're talking about
notice
a
an
different
issue
kind of
with
scrub.
what's called T-tab, and these are the chemicals that help ignite the Falcon 9.
It must be warm in there.
Yeah.
I mean, in their suits. They're not sitting in that rocket. I believe not. And we can see it, you know, but
There to light those engines, and so we have scrub called. And so now, from the astronaut's perspective, Raja, you're sitting in there. First of all, tell me about what kind of reaction.
Yeah, so I think it's good and bad, right? The bad side is obviously, you're ready to go. Been waiting for it. But I think what's really encouraging and what especially we're appreciative as the astronauts is knowing that everyone's got our back and that safety is
Oh
the paramount
my,
thing.
yeah, I can
As much as
imagine.
everyone wants to go, the right thing
She
to do
said
is
it.
to
Imagine a
continue to
carbon
space the scrub.
footprint
So I think
in
that's
the
something you need to remember when you're in the seat and when you're dealing with, as you go through the process of de-arming the launch escape system, like all those
the
steps
carbon
onto the
footprint
safety
from all
status
these
group.
space rockets. I
I think it's
cannot
also
imagine. It might be really crazy.
run through of all the events
What
in
does
the
that mean?
timeline. So now they've seen it all once.
Imagine all the
Out of progress,
rockets
but now
going
they've
in
taken it all
and
the way
with
down
all
to
the
nuclear launch.
carbon and
There's
from
nothing to let
that
them back.
smoke, and
Oh,
that must be
Talked
terrible.
earlier tonight about sleep shifting, so they're already sleep shifted. They're but why we do it that way so that
They're speaking a lot. They're reading a lot. You know
can I
what?
just go
I'm
inside?
thinking
I don't care about the rocket anymore.
we can put it down for now while we're waiting, and we'll find out.
Because I've been trying to sleep earlier and now my sleep ruined. So I just
Yeah, how much percent?
31.
Okay. Still right, and all them are still alive. I'm not sure I understand the question. Is it the people from an old crew from years ago? Because I know that from old crews that were sent like in the in the first rockets that went in supposedly in space, the whole crew is still alive today. Like the one that they said they died, they're still alive.
The entire cruise alive.
Yeah, they never been in space. That's
No, I
why.
mean I'm just kind of surprised just how old they might be.
Yeah, there's even an interview with one of them.
Sorry,
Seriously, no?
I had to let that out. It was
Come
stuck
on.
in my throat.
Yes, me too. I'm so happy. Like we are on the, we all see these things. It's insane. I don't know if at some point they will have to tell the people about their lives because there's so many mistakes, so
Oh,
many things.
you expect them to say anything?
But if they are cut all the time, I mean, it must be really heavy
I mean, you would
to
have.
try to find a lie, to cover another lie, to cover another lie. I mean, at some
Right.
point, people will really wake up.
And then you would have to get like most people aware for them to do that. I mean, right now.
There's so many awake today, though. You would be
Yeah, but not
surprised.
enough. Not enough for them to just say, oh, yeah, this and that. Not enough. It's all, the ones you talk about is just the ones you see. That's a small portion of what.
They make a lot of mistakes, though. Even the people who still believe, they see these mistakes and wonder why.
But like I said, that's a small portion of it.
Mm.
It doesn't matter. They at least have to get like a few billion.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. What Patricia was saying.
Yeah, I know. Alright, I'm done. I'm going inside. I don't know.
Okay, I'll hold it. All right.
Have fun with your arm.
We'll have to, we'll go and sit down for a little bit. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. It's the first train that is so late that they are really making people wait, Alina. Sorry, I'll just put it here, okay? I am seeing online just in case that their update is getting like closer. At first they started at 2 minutes 30 and they went up, they say half an hour, but now it's been a few minutes, went down. I don't know, they might be able to launch really soon now. If you see all that smoke, people sitting on top of that, I think it might be hot. Yeah. These people must be warm in there with all this equipment. You have to wait there.
tomorrow. I want to emphasize this is an opportunity. If the team decides that they can't turn it around in 24 hours,
Oh my goodness, I pray these people wake up and they want to turn to Yahweh.
and 29 seconds
Oh my goodness, I cannot even imagine how heavy, we have it on us when we are guilty on something and we know about the lies, right? If these people, when these people know, they know these things.
opportunity. If NASA and SpaceX decide to go forward with that, our coverage on NASA
Oh my
TV
goodness, seriously?
starts
Oh,
9:45
that's
p.m.
insane.
both on NASA TV and our streaming platforms. Also, from launch to dock, that transit would be about 33 and a half hours.
Can you hear what they say? I'm just like trying to keep updated about time to see when. Okay, good. Thank you.
There'll be a rendezvous, docking, and welcoming ceremony coverage on NASA TV that will start at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And I say all that, again, with the asterisk
Oops, sorry.
that is a decision that has yet to be made, whether or not they take that launch opportunity. There's going to be a time to look at this situation.
Right. So, like we heard that there was a situation with the T-tab, which is again sort of the, if you will, the igniter for the engines and making sure that
They talk a lot to make sure people wait.
whatever the technical underlying of that problem that led to today, if that's something that can be resolved, and obviously that's something the team will be diving into probably as soon as the prop is off the rocket. I'm sure they're going to be crawling all over it. That's one of the other logistical things that's happening here. So there's,
Can you
once they start
my
using
charger,
the rocket
baby,
as part of a countdown sequence and the crew armed to the launch escape system, all the personnel around there also cleared out. And so right now there is no
Thank
one
you.
really close to the rocket. So once
Thank you so much.
okay.
Technology. I might have to get a little bit involved into more technology on my side to be able to do this. Okay, okay, baby. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll have to move. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to move because I don't have much battery left, so I want to make sure because I wasn't planning on having a late stream. All right, so I'll just put this on the charger.
And there's something special, I think, about being in a small vehicle. The other brand, I wouldn't necessarily want to spend 2 weeks in there, but more than a few hours is kind of fun because because once you hit the space station, you are on a tight timeline. Everything, every 5 minutes is accounted for, and it should be. But it's expensive to get there, and we're doing a whole lot of science. The nice thing in the vehicle when you're driving and waiting, talking about space in the orbits, you get time to just look out the window, hang out with your buds. It's kind of like a glamping trip, because you're sort of roughing it, but obviously it's a pretty nice.
Oh, did you?
Exactly. It's a great time. So once they get in orbit and everything's checked out, they get out of their seats.
When there was that Artemis rocket on the moon, we did videotape it, and everybody, even our families that do believe what NASA says, they were like, where the rocket's going? Because you can see clearly from our backyard that it goes all the way around. It doesn't even like go up and go back down. Like when they say it's gonna detach and go up and then the rest will fall, it really like clearly shows that it goes all the way around with no stop. And so they were really questioning it and wondering why does it do that?
Well spent when you have a few extra hours in the Dragon.
We've talked a lot about the crew and what that means for them potentially going forward. I want to go back to the T-tab. We've mentioned this, we've heard a couple of times.
I think they said they are going to go forward.
If you look at the picture on the left, SpaceX rocket on the pad, for those who are familiar with
We need patience, huh?
that T-tab, it's the ignition method. You can actually see it light because it flashes green all around the bottom of the rocket. You see a green flash, and that's what it does. It lights those 9 Merlin engines, and then you have a liftoff. They call it TTED because that's
Uh,
the acronym for
yeah,
triethylene
no, not
aluminum
yet. We're still
triethyl
waiting.
boron. And when they come together, they create that, yeah, that ignition that's necessary to light the rocket. And so that's something that SpaceX is going to look at. We also heard an update from SpaceX on the loops about the timing of the detank, which we are currently just about 27 minutes into that process.
Did I hear that? Did you guys hear the same thing I heard?
Sorry, he's saying this is a period of
25 to
time where the
27
astronauts
minutes on the
just hold
process,
still
right?
while the
Do
propellant
you
is
guys
out of
agree if I
rocket.
can show you a video on cell if you want to wait? I can show you the video that we are supposed to send after the live stream if you want.
Right now, they're probably thinking through, well, the LES
Or we
is
can
still
stay
on, so
also and then just wait
well,
and
we're not planning on
listen if you
going,
want
but
to.
we'd probably hit the emergency ground address button, wait for the crew arm to swing out at that faster rate.
The crew arm,
Sorry.
attached,
Yeah,
right?
so but you would still want to, if you had to get out quickly, do the emergency ground egress. Make sure the LES is disarmed before you get out of your seats, and then egress if you had to. And so
I
there's
have
a few
some
different
people here
ways,
doing camping
different types of
outside.
egress if something else went wrong. And so whenever prop is moving, whether it's being onloaded or offloaded, you're always ready.
They have to wait 25 minutes.
Exactly, stays armed as long as there's propellant on the rocket. It stays armed because if there was any kind of contingency, you'd want to use
The
that
first
to get
time
off
we
quickly.
came in Florida,
The other thing
the first time that we heard a bang, we were wondering.
seats back. So just like we saw the seats rotate to launch position, once the LES is disarmed, then they'll rotate back to the unloading configuration.
First time we got here, actually, we
it
heard a
too much, but
really
some
loud
people that
noise,
drag
and
pickup
it
their
was like
cargo. And
thousands of
so
motor to
let's see
us.
this
Like the
do
sound of
some
it was really loud, and it was
John
actually
Hughes
even
left,
vibrating
exactly.
in the
And
house
so you
we
can see
were
the cargo that's
renting.
under there, and that's the
And
stuff
I went
on the left of
outside
the
and
rocket.
I saw that cloud in the air, and it was the first rocket we
Crew
seen.
related in terms of like survival equipment. So you see that red, you kind of just see
And
that red bag. That's the
so to us, it was the first time we heard and seen that. And then after that, we started to see that we knew about the cosmology, like our father's cosmology, that it's a flat surface we have, but not flat because we have mountains, you know, and but we have also a firmament that's surrounding us on top of us, and we hear the echo when we hear thunder, planes. We hear the echo, which is impossible if it was in space, right? And then so the rocket was proving it more for people who can share with others, and so people can see with their own eyes and observe, and even the sound, observe it by their own and understanding. And then after that, we went to an Airbnb, and in that place, we heard people and we heard the broom, like the really big noise. We went outside, and there was two rockets that day on the same time, and they hit the firmament, and we saw it hitting the firmament. Oh, can we get the dogs inside?
Summer Bella.
I'm sorry.
Summer Bella. Bella. Don't you want to go inside?
I'm so sorry. Come on, Summer.
Bella.
Summer.
Oh.
Bella.
Inside.
Bella's inside? Okay. Okay, so yeah, there was people in the street. To go off, you know. Like a vacuum. Yes.
Why are they laying down?
Huh?
Why are they laying down?
They're sitting. They're actually sitting.
Unusual.
And so yeah, that Airbnb, when we heard that big noise, we went outside, and then there was two rockets in the same time that were sent in the air, and it was during the day, and there was people in the street trying to explain to us that there was two rockets, and but because they believe what NASA was saying, they said that because of the sonic, like the speed of the rocket. At some point, I don't remember the whole explanation they were saying, but he said at some point you'll hear a sonic boom. But the boom we heard was not what they were explaining, because when we saw it hitting the firmament, we saw really the hit with the smoke around twice. And then after that, we heard, after a little delay, like, you know, when you have the lightnings and the thunder, you hear the thunder after the lightning, like the delay, right? And then, so this is what happened, and it started to make the boom, but the boom was so strong because we were really close to the station where we had our Airbnb. Our daughter, 7-year-old daughter, put her hands in her face and hit her face. She was so scared because the noise was extremely loud. That boom was like a big, huge explosion, and it resonated all around us like an echo, like we were under a dome. It was so strong, and it did that twice, and it was like, imagine like something that hits like an explosion, but really like sharp, hard, like explosion hit. Like, I don't know how to explain. It was really, it was so impressive, you know, the first time, because now we can hear that something hit a dome, and that resonate, like the echo was exactly the same as if you go under a dome, and then this somebody would hit it and it sounded like that, but really strong. So for us, it was an experience. And then, so you hear the firmament, and then now with the smoke, depending on the sun, if it's in the morning, the sun is underneath, and the sun goes underneath that smoke that's really close to the firmament, you see the shadow, like a ceiling shadow. This is so amazing. Like, being underneath it and seeing it with our own eyes was really amazing. And then I believe that a lot of people must see it here too, and understanding where we live in, and that our Father is above us and he's not like lost somewhere in the universe, right? So they are explaining process, and like I'm trying to do, right? Speaking a lot, they speak a lot too. But we'll see how long we can last, everyone. That's awesome that we can wait, but we will see it together. I won't give up on you at all, at all.
Green flash is
Mm-hmm.
the T-tip ignition fluid, and you can actually see it in our launch coverage. But it was that the ground teams were tracking, and so they identified a ground issue and are now going through the stages of a nominal scrub situation. Just regular tank offloading. We were originally looking at about 50 minutes of tank offloading. Now we're about 15-20 minutes.
Yes, that is so true, Patricia. It is true, and the scripture says that too. Like, we're under a tent and we're like grasshoppers.
And why don't we check in with Kate for more on the scrub situation? Yeah, thanks, Gary.
Oh, there's an update.
I am following along with the SpaceX ground team's procedures as we are continuing through this nominal scrub. As we heard called out a couple minutes ago, we have about 15 to 20 minutes left of the offload, so that should wrap up around between 2:30 and 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we're coming up to that soon. Everything progressing nominally. Looking at the current levels, I'm expecting a call out to occur any minute now, indicating that all RP1 has been detanked from the second stage. So liquid oxygen detanking has already completed from the second stage. So I'm expecting that call out to come any second now, indicating that RP1 has been completely detanked. As for the first stage, also really low levels there. I would say less than 5% remaining locks on.
Oh, I agree, Patricia, 100%.
And then probably about 10% fuel left to go there on the first stage. So we're nearly there, but we will hear those progress call-outs on the loops informing the crew. As you can see there on the right-hand side of your screen, they remain comfortable in their seats, visors down, seats rotated back. The launch escape system is still armed at this point, although from that view of the pad on the left-hand side of your screen, it might kind of look like the crew access arm is reaching toward the capsule. It's not. We have not moved that yet. into the service position, and we won't see that for a little bit yet. But
these comments,
things that we're going to go through.
Why would they say these comments? Oh, it doesn't look like this. It's because it looks like this if they say it, right?
Rehearsal on Thursday night, meaning no propellant involved. So that's what makes it a dry dress. But
all right, so they are planning about 15 minutes. Are we able to hold on for another 15 minutes?
Access on and helping the crew get out of the capsule, including reopening that side hatch. So the astronauts will egress from the capsule the exact same way that they ingressed, just in reverse. So pretty simple from that standpoint, but there are also other things that we'll have to do in addition to that fuel detanking or offloading and the disarming of that launch escape system. We will also check with the hypergol sensors, those hypergolic fluids, monomethylhydrazine and nitrogen tetroxide, that MMH and NTO, those are the fuels that are used to power Dragon when it's in orbit, and they are toxic to humans to breathe. So we will engage those.
What did she say? They are toxic for human to breathe, and there's supposedly humans in here.
Prior to allowing the closeout team return to the White Room, we'll also make sure that the closeout crew themselves are prepared and ready to re-enter the BDA.
Are we there yet? I'm with you.
It's basically everything that they did earlier today, but in reverse. And then another thing that we will also do is we will release the range assets. So of course, all of that all that sea and airspace that we had closed off in preparation for launch. After that launch escape system is disabled, we'll be able to basically release or free up all of those range assets that are still currently locked down, just in case a launch abort, a Dragon abort, a pad abort in this case, would be triggered. But as we mentioned before, everything continues to progress nominally with no issues.
SpaceX with a propellant offload update.
Okay, it looks like they are pretty quiet. Yes.
At this time, we have RP1 in locks off of stage 2.
I'm just curious to know how long.
5 minutes or so here until we are fully offloaded.
So, all right, so I think they're getting ready. We are, if we drive there, it takes us about 15-20 minutes from our home. So,
there's about 5 minutes remaining.
Oh, 5 minutes?
At this point in time, the second stage is now completely or mostly empty, completely empty of its propellants. The LOX tank on the
so
first
there's
stage
news here.
nearly
5 minutes
empty,
left.
and the fuel tank on the first stage has maybe about 5% remaining to be pulled out. So everything continuing nominally with this offload. We heard there Commander Steve Bowen, as I mentioned earlier. He sounds pretty relaxed. And,
Oh, yeah, the thing is,
ice cube here,
I thought being, at least 15-20 minutes away wouldn't be bad for the smell, but we do. We actually do smell it. It's not too strong, but still, we still smell that. And we feel the vibration in our home when it goes. Actually, the first time you're gonna see it going up, we don't hear anything. It takes a delay to hear the vibration in the engine, right? And when the engine starts, usually dogs bark because it's like really loud, and the houses sometimes shake, like they move a little bit, with the vibration.
Wishing you were flying than to be flying wishing you were on the ground. So this is a good
Actually, the Father really blessed us so we can show others and bless others to see that these are not true, and that He is truly living above us, and He's truly, His biblical cosmology is not what we have been taught, and we can see and share with other people as well.
The crew of around T-minus 5 minutes, had indicated that
minus 5 minutes
to troubleshoot the problem, and ultimately called that scrub at T-minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So at this point in time, the crew remains in their chairs. Unfortunately, not a whole lot for them to do.
Yeah,
other than
I
watch,
believe
continue
so.
to
I believe
monitor,
this is where
using their
SpaceX
cruise slates
puts this
to
rocket.
monitor the
This is in Cape
progress of
Canaveral.
the propellant offloading and
We're in
overall
Titusville,
vehicle health.
so we're not
But
really
as I mentioned
far.
before,
And
the
when we
commander's
went
tone of
to
voice
the
indicates
Airbnbs,
that
we
everyone
were
is,
one time in
I'm
Merritt
sure,
Island
disappointed
and
that we
one
didn't
time
get to go to space
in
today,
Cocoa Beach.
but
And
unbothered
Cocoa
or
Beach is
not
really,
worried
really
about
close
what we're
to
walking
the
through,
station.
as
And
we have
then
practiced,
when we were there, we
practicing a similar
felt and
scenario very recently
heard
at
the
dry
rockets
dress
really
rehearsal
loud,
just
like
this
more
past
than
Thursday
here.
evening. So after we fully detank the vehicle, we will be able to disarm the launch escape system and then bring that crew access arm, which a great shot there on the left-hand side of your screen of it stowed away. We will basically rotate it back into its service position and
Oh yeah.
close out.
They really,
Will,
like, if you look at the crew right
I guess it
now,
will be the
oh my
opposite,
goodness,
more of like a
they
closing.
know the
But they will
truth,
return to
and
the
they are
pad
sitting
and
there and they are waiting
go
in
back up
these
to the side
outfit.
hatch
How
window
much
and help
of
the
the lives they can
astronauts out
take?
of
I
their
mean,
seats.
before they are freed from it, you know? I pray the Father does
That's right, Kate.
freedom from
And
that
again,
lie in
we're getting
Yeshua's
that
name.
live
It's
view
insane.
from inside the
I
Dragon.
feel for
They
them.
are passively waiting. It's the ground teams monitoring the detanking process, which we're really just minutes away from finishing. In the meantime, we continue to keep that launch escape system armed just to make sure the crew is safe through the process. Now, after that detanking is complete, one of the next steps will be to disarm the launch escape system. When the Falcon 9 is not fueled, it's in a safe configuration to go ahead and disarm that and go through the next series of steps, including that crew access arm swinging back
Yeah.
and
I
retrieving
pray
the
they
crew.
are taking,
Now,
they are
Crew
getting
6
away
will have
from this
another
lie
opportunity
before
to
that
launch.
time,
Right
before
now, we're
judgment.
tracking a 24-hour
We never
turnaround
know.
for the next launch
I'm praying,
attempt. Of
like,
course, the teams on the ground
what
will
with
have to
men seems
evaluate and continue
impossible,
to
with
evaluate
Yahweh and with God, everything
the
is
issue that was
possible, right?
identified as part of today's launch scrub. And again, that was a ground issue identified with the
Sometimes I
T-TED
do
ignition
feel
fluid
powerless,
that
like
allows
I
the first
often
and second stage
actually,
engines
other
to
than
ignite and
when we
propel the
pray, it
Falcon
is
9 and the
powerful.
Dragon into orbit. So they'll continue to talk and discuss about the issues before going ahead and proceeding with that next attempt, but we have that identified. If we were to proceed with a launch attempt tomorrow, again, today's launch attempt, we were counting down to 1:45 a.m. Eastern time. For tomorrow, for a 24-hour scrub, it's just about 24 hours, a little shy of that. So we'd be looking at about 1:22 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow for our next attempt. In the meantime, we're continuing to follow along, just really minutes away from completely detanking the Falcon 9. So we'll continue to follow along and get this next status update until that's completely detanked and we hear that they're disarming the launch escape
It's
system.
true. We followed along the lines of what we were taught
Right,
since we
Kate,
were
we're
young.
continuing to follow along.
And yeah,
really just
our Father is
sitting
so
and waiting at
good,
this point for
revealing
that
to us
detanking
the
process,
truth,
but
wanting really
we
to know
should
more
be expecting to hear something from the
about
ground teams
Him.
very shortly.
And He is faithful and true, and
Yeah, that's right. We
He's so
continue
good
to
to
see
us
the
and
crew
merciful.
remaining
Praise Him.
buckled in their seats, keeping their hands inside the ride at all times, for a lack of a better analogy. Yeah, their visors remain in the closed position. This, of course,
Looks
is,
like
as
there's a
you
little
just
bit
mentioned,
of
the launch escape system is still armed.
how you say
So while it is armed, the
and
crew
they're
will
breathing
stay
in.
exactly
That
as
must
you
be
see them now.
uncomfortable.
This is just in case for some reason,
Yeah.
a Dragon paddleboard is
If that ball
required.
was going as
As I
fast as
mentioned
they say,
before,
oh my goodness,
not
I would be
likely, but it's
sick a
good
few
backup.
times in the
Of
bathroom.
course, crew safety is the
I would
top
be
priority at all
seasick,
times,
or
even
car
as we
sick,
work through this
a
nominal
vehicle
scrub
on the earth sick.
procedure. So we will see the crew remain like this until further notice, basically. Checking in on vehicle status here, as I mentioned before. The second stage
If we see smoke coming out of that rocket, we know we're not too far.
LOX tank also basically completely empty. I'm seeing a tiny little bit of fuel, that RP1, rocket propellant 1, still coming off of the first stage tank there. But for the most part, Falcon 9 is basically entirely
That's
empty
too funny.
of its propellants at this point in time. So
Yeah,
as
I
I mentioned
believe that
before,
too.
we
I
were
believe he fell
expecting
asleep.
this to
Pretty,
wrap
pretty
up
tired in this
sometime
time.
between 2:30 a.m. and 2:40 a.m. Eastern time. So now at
Oh yeah, I think he's closing his
2:33,
eyes or
we
something.
are in that range.
Hang
So
on, I'm
we
gonna
should
try
be
to
hearing
do
momentarily from
some.
SpaceX core Arthur Burialt, located here at SpaceX Hawthorne Mission Control, just behind Gary and I. We
Oh
should
my
hear
goodness,
from him
that
soon,
must be long.
indicating that the propellant offloading is complete and that we will then prepare to disarm the launch escape system. So for those that have recently tuned in, we had a nominal countdown. The SpaceX team reported a issue with the TTED. Basically the fluids that we use to ignite the Merlin engines. You can kind of think of it like the spark plug to your car if you drive a combustion engine vehicle. So that TTEB is a critical component to getting the rocket to fly. It's what creates the spark.
You know, I'm thinking, Patricia, I was thinking the other day, I was talking about the gravity thing, you know, and I'm like, if they say gravity is holding the water and all the seas and ocean, can you imagine what would happen to our face, our hair? We would not be able to stand up and walk. We would like be stuck on the ground because we're not as heavy as the ocean, right?
Prior to that, we had
and you have the balloons float in the air, but they are not held by gravity. But there's things that are, you know, our hair are not heavy and they don't stick on the ground.
At this time, we have all propellant off the vehicle and are proceeding with nominal closeout.
Oh, it sounds like they're getting ready.
SpaceX tracking copy.
All right, so that's an important call. Propellant load, or the propellant offload rather, being complete. So we'll be tracking to see when the launch escape system gets disarmed. Right now it's still armed just as a precautionary measure as the ground teams continue to track the
Dragon
propellant.
SpaceX, with that call, you are go for section 2 of 5.100 and disarm launch escape system.
I don't know how that works. Do they shake the device they're in right now? Like, I'm not talking about the rocket, but where they're sitting.
We are go for 2.
And hold, break.
Launch escape system safely.
Wakey, wakey.
And copy that. Good read back, Dragon.
Okay, we are launch escape system safing. We are 2 Alpha 1 and we're at 2 Alpha 2, but just on the launch escape system.
I think they're about to see the time left. Must be just 1 or 2 minutes, probably. Last time it said 5 minutes. Oh, it's pretty quiet right now.
So again, if you're just tuning in, the ground teams we're tracking propellant offload. So it'll be the crew themselves inside Crew Dragon Endurance that issues the command to turn off. The launch escape system will wait for confirmation of that command being successfully issued to the Dragon system. All right, and it looks like we
yeah, I thought the same thing. It's like that song. Space has been made in the Hollywood basement.
That confirms the propellant offload and the launch escape system being disarmed. So the crew will work through a series of commands.
We're going to go with advisors and proceed to step 3.
No, I think when one of them got tired of it, I just said that they need to go, I think. What are they doing? Oh, let's breathe a little. It must be warm in there. Sorry.
Dragon, we are ready for seat rotation.
What's going on?
SpaceX copies will report when initiating.
Okay, so recap of what happened. We declared a scrub inside 2 minutes 30 seconds. That scrub time was actually 2 minutes 14 seconds. The scrub for the day. Since then, we've been in a nominal scrub procedure, so it was followed. So we're continuing to follow along.
What's going on?
And that crew access arm, we did get confirmation. You can see it visually, actually. It is swinging back into place to access the side hatch on the side of Crew Dragon Endeavor.
Oh, this thing is
again,
moving up.
Falcon 9 is completely offloaded with fuel and oxidizer, and the launch escape system has been disarmed. Those commands confirmed before going ahead and swinging the crew access arm back. You heard the command for seat rotation.
Larry, yep, he did. Took his mask off.
Before launch, the seat rotates up to about a 14-degree angle. That's the seat. That's the launch position. The seat rotation goes down to about a 40-degree angle to allow
the upright position.
SpaceX Dragon comes.
Did anybody follow what he said? Are they ready to go, or?
So there we can see the crew access arm closing the final inches as it moves back toward Dragon Endeavor. We are now pulling the closeout team to re-enter the BDA, or blast danger area. So as we've mentioned before, they will go back up the tower, back down the crew access arm, reopen that side hatch and help the astronauts egress from the capsule.
Yeah, all that setup, you know, it looks too easy for something that's stuck in a vacuum in space, you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness.
To the ingress position. So we can see the crew access arm just closing the final inches up against Dragon Endeavor.
What are they saying that they are going to?
At this point in time, we're going to head back over to Kennedy Space Center's Daryl for additional updates. I'm sure that they can see that they were able to see that crew access arm move from their seats at the press site. Daryl, how are things over there?
Definitely.
Could see the crew access arm coming back and making a connection with Dragon Endeavor. And as you see on the screen there, the white room connected back in. And so as we watch the...
Did you put their mask back in? On? Half of it.
Take a moment to...
It must be a worm in there.
And from here on, Commander Chari, looks like they'll be heading out at some point.
They should be, yeah. At this point, the vehicle's pretty much completely safe. So with the LES disarmed or safe, there's basically no longer active prop in the F9, and also the Super Dracos are safe on the vehicle. So that completes their procedure 5.100, which is the one they're running inside the vehicle at this point. They're just waiting for the recovery crew to show up. Like was mentioned earlier, they have to stay outside an exclusion area while there's any potential of propellants or the abort engines kicking off. And so now that that's safe, those teams will approach the vehicle. You can see they loosen their straps. One of the questions we were talking about while we were listening to SpaceX was why don't they just get out on their own, which they could. But we mentioned before that whole white room is a clean room. And so if they were to get out on their own, they maybe like scuff a boot, touch a hatch seal, and since all those things we want to keep really pristine, there's no rush right now. There's no reason to risk anything like that. Bumping a visor.
I'm not sure I'm following what's going on. Are they going to lunch or not?
Opportunity is to let the closeout crew come and make sure they help them out, make sure nothing is, nothing gets damaged or anything like that on the way out, and preserve the opportunity, those follow-on opportunities. The good news is the next opportunities will probably go faster because everyone's done it once now, so they've got some more practice. They don't have to sign the patch, like you said. They've knocked that out, so you save yourself a few seconds here and there. And again, that's for the crew. Although there's some disappointment of like everything would go. But
No problem,
if,
Patricia. You helped me
another
too. Be
chance
patient
to
tonight.
another chance, because like we talked about, once that rocket lights, things happen really fast. So the more times you have to
I don't know.
walk through it and talk through it, and especially in a place like this, you're actually sitting in the seats with the displays up, hearing the vehicle sounds. That in and of itself is a worthwhile experience, and it makes you more perceptive if things aren't nominal. So the next time if you hear a sound, they're like, well, that's different than what we heard before, and have a baseline for comparison. Looks like Woody's playing with his box settings, so now that their visor's up, they're probably changing their settings just so they're not getting background noise. You can see they're starting to get their gloves out.
Maybe they should
Get their
call.
hands out and just get a little more.
They should call for some takeout, of course. That would be awesome. At this point, it's insane.
So Crew 6 did a dry dress.
So what are they doing? I'm not sure I understood what they were talking about, and I talk over. I'm sorry.
The better off they'll be for the next attempt. Just to recap, if you're just joining us, we scrubbed the launch attempt at T-minus 2 minutes and 14 seconds before liftoff. There was a hold in the countdown, happened at 1:43 a.m. Eastern Time. The SpaceX team encountered an issue in the ground system affecting the loading of triethyl aluminum and triethyl boron, which together, the acronym TTAB, they are the ignition fluids for F9.
I thought the same thing.
The ground team couldn't provide sufficient confidence of a full load of that TTAB, which is important to light all 9 of the Merlin 1D
Both of them
engines
had
up to the top
iPads. I
9.
don't know the other one. I don't see it.
The team scrubbed it.
I think they all have them.
Now they're going through their procedures for launch scrub. And so, moving forward, we have some launch opportunities coming up for Crew 6.
That doesn't seem like glove I would wear in a vacuum
I
space.
mentioned the first one on February 28th. There's also another one on March 2nd at 12:34 a.m. Eastern Time.
It sounds like they're repeating things.
And if we were to go then, we would begin our NASA TV coverage on March 1st at 9:30 p.m. And there would be a docking at 1:05 a.m. Eastern Time on March 3rd. Also want to make a note that there is no press conference tonight. Initially, that was scheduled. Had to have been a nominal launch. But in this case, NASA is foregoing the opportunity for a press conference. And so stay tuned to your social media channels. And
Are they saying that they are not doing the launch today?
We've pulled go for the closeout team to start re-entering the PDA, and they'll be back alongside you at the capsule shortly and helping you egress. Additionally, just want to do a quick comfort check. Make sure you guys are still feeling okay sitting there, and if you need a PMC, I can set one up.
I'll wait for Captain Bowen to respond.
SpaceX Dragon, we're all feeling good, just waiting on the opportunity to get out of the capsule, that's all.
SpaceX copies.
Yeah, so the call there you heard was that gives the crew some SA that the recovery crew is going to be approaching, because if they do hear bumps or see shadows or silhouettes moving outside the windows, you can't see, you don't have direct line of sight into the room, but you can see maybe some movement or light changes, and that lets you know that's people that's intended versus something off-nominal happening. And then a PMC stands for a private medical conference. And as you heard, they're doing fine, just waiting to get out.
You're waiting to get out?
So,
I'm not sure I understand what's going on.
Our coverage of Crew 6, the first attempt of Crew 6 to launch to the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon Endeavour. Didn't get to do it today.
I need to read that message loud. It's really good. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, in other words, does anybody gotta use the bathroom? Remember not to flush while you're sitting on it. It's so hilarious. That's awesome.
Continuing to work through breakfast and lunch to figure out if they can fix the problem and when we'll be ready to go. But we'll go when it's safe and ready to go. So absolutely, NASA's ethos will launch when we're ready. And so that's going to wrap up our coverage for this evening. Thank you for watching
Crew 6's launch
No
attempt
way.
to the International Space Station. I'm Daryl Nail for Raja Chari and everyone at NASA. Thank you for watching and have a great morning.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It lasted all that time to make us to cautionary. So I guess we will see it tomorrow. Eh? Um, all right, I guess this is ending. But actually, what I understood is they are planning to do it tomorrow night, the same time at 1 something in the morning. I'm gonna look it up in their website to find out. Okay, by the way, this is straight. It's not a fisheye lens that we are supposed to use. I'll turn this off. But I thank you so much for, um, and you were awesome, Patricia. Thank you, sister, for this. Really entertain everybody and help us out to be patient in all this. And so I'm gonna look it up and look at the update and what's gonna happen for the next lunch. I actually didn't have a lunch today. But if it is a lunch, when it is tomorrow night, I'll find out and I'll update you guys. Until then, I will post that video I was talking about where we live in. It's a 10 minutes video right after this live stream. Thank you so much and shalom. And may you be blessed, sister, and everybody on here and the people who are watching after this. And you have a good night too. And be blessed. God bless you in Yeshua's name. Thank you. Bye.